Hello, everyone. Welcome to British Boxing Blog podcast. Stephen here. Delighted to be joined by Brad Ray. Brad, how are you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, mate. Cheers for having me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Sorry, been trying to sort it for a while, but it's nice to get it on. Yeah, busy man, aren't you?
I am a busy man, mate. I've not stopped recently. Just training hard towards October 16th. Excited.
Yeah, you're up in our neck of the woods, October 16th, about a month's time. How's camp going? How's everything going? What's been going on?
Yeah, going really well. Yeah. Training hard, training probably the hardest I've ever trained this, and I kind of keep just taking training to new levels each camp, and this has definitely been the hardest one yet. I was kind of a bit before the boxing deal got announced. I was a bit unsure when I was going to be fighting, so I've been flat out now for quite a while. But we're getting close now, so I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So, mate, it'd be good to be back in the arena. It's been a while since we've been there, so it'd be good. Be a good night. That you got many coming up from Manchester.
You know what, mate? I was a bit like that at first when it got announced. I've not boxed outside Manchester with the pro yet. But bloody hell, mate, when they announced it, it was just more people were booking tickets and coaches and hotels and stuff. So hopefully we're gonna bring a little slice of Manchester up to you.
Class, man. Saturday night in Newcastle, man. I told you on Twitter, I said, if you need any advice, any bars, any restaurants, just give us a shout, mate. It's our city.
That's the first thing. I think everyone's just asked about coming and having a good night out. Not really bothered about watching me. Everyone said, "Oh, it's in Newcastle." Everyone says, "Well, good night out, Newcastle, innit? Yeah, we'll come." Yeah, nice one.
Hopefully you get on early, mate, and you can join them.
Yeah, I'll be out and about in an hour. Get the job done first round.
Get a nice early slot. The whole boxer thing, the Sky thing, where did that come from? Has that been in the pipeline a while? Like, were you chuffed? Were you buzzing? You're going to be on Sky Sports, like a new era of boxing. Like, what's your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, it was. So it's kind of all stemmed from my last fight, and I think kind of people started sitting up and taking notice, and we had a few offers, and I had to have a sit down with my manager Steve Wood, and it's just, I think it's just really exciting what boxer are looking to do and what Sky are looking to do, and I'm kind of in a position now which, if you would have asked me when I was a little kid in school what I do when I'm growing up, like, this is it. I'm literally gonna be living my dream, but it's just the beginning for me. So yeah, I'm really excited, and hopefully I can steal the show on October the 16th, and a few more people can sit up and take note of me, and I can get people to start backing me. We really put on some entertaining fights, and people be interested.
Absolutely. You mentioned your last fight there. That was the Lee Cutler fight, wasn't it? On the Lawrence Okoli undercard, and you stopped him in the first round. Like, he was an unbeaten kid as well going into it, and obviously you're unbeaten. Do you think that was the statement win? That was the one that made people think, "Whoa, like, hello"?
Yeah, definitely. And I think since then I've seen it just kind of on social media and stuff. There's people from outside Manchester who have never seen me before, never heard of me before, kind of sitting up and taking note. And I think October the 16th they'll be tuning in thinking, was that a fluke? Was that a flag? Was that a flag, that last fight? And hopefully, I'm going to show that it wasn't, and what I'm about, and gain a few more fans and a few more followers.
Did you expect to beat him that convincingly, that well? Like, would you class yourself as like a stoppage fighter, like a power puncher, or was it just,
I wasn't expecting it. But I knew I had it in me. And it was something that me and my coach Blaine had talked about before. On the morning of the fight, he'd said, if you have this kid going today, don't let him off the hook. He said, just step in and get the job done. And in that split second, when I felt I hurt him in the first round, I thought, this is it. This is what he told me this morning, and I put my foot on the gas. And I think I've shown people what I can do now, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
What was that whole experience like boxing on a world title on the card, Wembley Arena, like big show? What was that whole week like? That whole build up like?
Yeah, it was good and it was different, you know, because we were in the bubble.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you were.
It was very different, and I kind of like, you know, I think if it would have been a few of the other shows that they had on, I would have known a few more people in the bubble, but it was all a little bit like a lot of Southerners, a lot of people I didn't really know, and you know,
Pretty Southerners,
I kind of just, not in a bad way, but just obviously not people I've not mixed with.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I kind of just kept myself to myself a little bit, and you know, I was in my room a lot of the time, and I was just focused on getting the job done, really.
Yeah.
On the fight night, I thought it was going to be a bit more different than it was. You know, I could have been boxing in front of 100,000 people, and I would have known. You know, I was just focused. I knew we had a job to do, and it was just tunnel vision.
Absolutely. Like, what's the vibe like down in Manchester at the minute, boxing wise? Like, what's the scene like down there? Obviously, you know, it's an amazing fighting city and some proper legends and in recent years and stuff. Like, is there like a new breed coming through now, like yourself, and you know, fighters like yourself? What's the city like at the minute, boxing wise?
Yeah, definitely, it's booming, and I think it's full of kids who have kind of obviously been inactive because of COVID, ready
Of course,
to get in the mix and to get involved. You know, there's been absolutely loads of small all shows in the past few weeks.
Good.
You know, I think the problem down here, which I keep hearing, is lack of opponents.
Yeah,
you know, there's just so many shows that people can't get the opponents, and you know, it's just good to see boxing back. It is, and you know, we're looking forward to hopefully getting some big shows back in Manchester. You know, at Manchester Arena and stuff like that.
You boxed on one of them, didn't you? One of the Manchester Arena undercards. Was it Scott Quigg? I can't remember which one it was now.
Yeah, the Quigg against Carroll.
Yeah, Carroll, that was it.
Yeah, when it's like, you know, I've been going to the arena since I was a little kid, and it's been a dream of mine to box there, you know, and it was so good to take off my list. But to be honest, it was a bit. I think I was first on, second on. I was on about 4:30 or something.
You got the early slot. It's just the sad acts like me that getting at that time, watching the undercards and that, tweeting through it.
And after it, I thought, right, that was mint. You know, I've accomplished one of my dreams as a kid. But I remember thinking, right, I need to get back here soon, and I need to be filling this place out. I need to be winning titles here, and you know, that's my next step.
It's an amazing arena for boxing. We were down for Quigg Frampton, we were down for Crawler the Norris too. Like, it's just, you know, like, was it the first one? I can't remember now. But when Manchester Arena's in full swing, it's a special place. Like, it's a great arena.
Yeah, definitely, it's booming, and I think, you know, Manchester's kind of calling out for that. You know, that next, you know, we've had the obviously Ricky, you've had Crawler who kind of took on that mantle, and you know, you're calling out for that next person for the city to get behind, and hopefully, you know, it can be me.
Yeah, like, what's it like? Obviously, we were talking just before we started recording there that you're a City fan, and do you get that sort of tribalism with boxing, or do you think the City would just come behind one person? Or
I think it's different when you've got a red against a blue, and I think they play on it a little bit. But if you've got a Manc there, you know, and he's fighting either someone from any of the other British cities or a foreigner, you know, I think they love to get behind. You know, you used to get all the City fans going to watch Ricky, didn't you? You used to get all the United fans used to go and watch Ricky. You know, all the City fans used to go and watch Crawler. And I don't think you know, I think they just like you know, representing the city the way they do, and the fans really get behind them no matter what.
I always thought it was a shame that Crawler and Terry Flanagan never met me. Like, I thought, two lightweights. Do you know what I mean, man? One's a red, one's a blue. I thought that would have been a hell of a night in the arena. That, like.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like you say, they would have probably played on that, and that's where I'm a blue me, but I followed Crawler everywhere. I would have had to sit on the fence for that one, I think.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. What was it like, sort of growing up then? Like, when did boxing like enter your life? When did you know, where did you first go? What was that like as a young kid?
Yeah, so I started boxing when I was about 7 or 8. My dad took me down to the gym just for something to do. Bit of fitness, yeah. I was a bit of a fat kid, bit of a chubby fat kid, and Yeah, and I was a bit iffy at first. I used to go, you know, and then a couple of years later, me mum and my dad opened an amateur gym in Charlton
Yeah.
that they still run today. Yeah, and you know, I think that's where my love for the sport really took off. Oh, one sec, mate. Sorry.
No, you're all right, mate. No worries. That's fair.
But Stormy fans mithering me, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably my mum or something. Probably my mum. But yeah, mate, and it's just kind of I've not looked back since then. You know, I was quite heavily involved in the coaching at the amateur gym, and you know, yeah, my dad used to kind of take us all over sparring and stuff, and you know, it's just been part of my life ever since.
What was the amateur days like? Was there a point where you said before you were a bit iffy when you first went? Was there a point where you thought like, you know what, I'm quite good at this, like I'm gonna stick in here?
I think maybe I didn't think I was good at this, but I remember the first time I sparred, and I think I used to see it from the coaching angle. You know, a lot of them, they go one or two ways. You either get copped in the mouth and they think, well, didn't like that, that's not for me, or they get copped in the mouth and they think, right, you're getting it, I want to give you one back. And you know, that was kind of the point where I think, you know, I could get used to this. And you know, I was quite an experienced amateur. I had nearly 100 fights. I think I had 98 amateur fights. But you know, I used to get told all the time that I was suited to the pros. Had a bit more of a pro style, and you know, I boxed a lot of good kids as amateurs, and I think I'd kind of always the big meaningful fights I'd just fall short in. But you know, I'm adamant that as a pro, you know, that's not going to be the case, and I think I've adapted to the game. I think I was suited to the pro game a little bit more, made a few little adjustments, and you know, I'm just looking forward to getting in some of them big fights as a pro now.
Absolutely. Do you think the time was right to turn over? Was it 2018 you turned over? Was it? And was that the right time, you think?
Yeah, so it's actually 3 years ago today, my debut.
Is it? There we go. Happy anniversary.
3 years ago today. But yeah, you know, I was a bit iffy about that as well, whether it was the right time, whether to hang on another year and have a crack at the ABAs. And you know, I just don't think the amateur scene was happening for me. Maybe gone a little bit stale and just needed that change. And you know, when I did finally get a date for my debut, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it was all just new and it was all just exciting. And you know, I was off again, and you know, I've been the same ever since.
You mentioned there, like obviously you looked on your box rec and you made your debut 2018. I think 2019 you had 5 fights, and then I guess we all know what happened after that, and that was the whole pandemic thing, wasn't it? And I think you had one fight in 2020, and like then was it like a year? So you know, like what was that like as a young up and coming like fledgling boxer without any like, you know, massive deal behind you or anything like that? How do you sort of stick at it? And you know, like during
it was hard. It was really difficult because obviously I was still on the small hall circuit at the time. And you know, a lot of the small hall lads, obviously the promoters, they don't have the backing of these big TV companies, and they just couldn't possibly put shows on. It just couldn't happen. So, you know, it got to the point where, you know, the money from the last fight started running out, and a lot of the small hall lads, you know, they just live fight by fight, fight to fight. And you know, we got to the point where it was a little bit like, right, you know, I'm gonna have to get myself a little part-time job. I'm gonna have to do something here. And remember kind of having a chat with, you know, my team, and we felt the best way it was going to get a fight was going to be as a last minute replacement, or you know, getting the call to go in the away corner. And you know, a lot of the time they do it 2 or 3 weeks notice. And you know, if it was working, it just got to the point where I thought I'm not going to be ready for if this comes up. So we made the decision that I was just going to train through. I was lucky that I had a few of my sponsors who continued to back me. And you know, there was the back end of the year, there was a few whispers of things coming up, and I was on the phone to my manager, Steve Wood, all the time. You know, if I seen pullouts or anything, I was saying, what about this? What was in for that? What about you? There's a show coming up. Is there anything there for me? I think he was sick of me. And then we got a call for a fight on an NTK show, which fell through at a week's notice. And then, you know, it was a bit disheartening and it was hard. And I was thinking, right, I've made the wrong decision here. I'm a bit skint. Nothing's coming up. And then, you know, we got given an absolute massive opportunity by Matchroom and Eddie Earn, you know, to fight on one of their shows. And it was billed as a bit of a 50-50 fight. It's supposed to be a bit of a risky fight. But, you know, I just knew that this was my opportunity now. And it was what I'd been waiting for. And all the hard months of training with nothing at the end, it was just leading towards this. And, you know, I just grabbed that opportunity with both hands. And, you know, look what it's done for my career now. You know, it's really given me like a push right up. And, you know, now I'm signed with Boxer and I'm going to be fighting on Sky. And, you know, I'm just excited for the future. But it was hard. It was hard, and, you know, there was ups and downs. But, you know, I think we made the right decision, and, you know, it's done me the world of good. Got me to where I am now.
Absolutely. It looks like that Cutler fight could be like the turning point of your career. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you mentioned before, coming up through the small hall circuit, like that's like phase one, but maybe that's like bang, we're going on to, you know, you've sort of catapulted out of them like shows at Victoria Warehouse and all that. Do you know what I mean? With no disrespect to them,
yeah, definitely.
Like blood of boxing, but now you're going on to better things. You know what I mean? Because of that.
Yeah,
fight.
Definitely. And, you know, this is just it's what when I turned pro, I kind of. And, you know, you get a lot of lads who think, oh, I'm going pro and, you know, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be famous.
It's not like that, is it? It's not like that at all.
It's not the way it works, but I've been around the game a long time. I knew what I was getting myself in for, and I knew that the first few years were going to be difficult. And with the pandemic, it was even more difficult. But, you know, I'm at that point now where I always believed that I could get to. And, you know, I think this is the start now. This is the exciting bit.
Did you see that photo of Maxie Hughes on Twitter the other day when he was back on the building site and stuff? And
yeah, with his hard hat and his high vis on.
Incredible that, and like, you know, you're saying that it's not all what people think it is and that, but I thought he, now the run he's been on, I thought surely, you know, he'd be making a full-time living out of it, but it's mad, isn't it? That it's not all the riches that you think.
Definitely, and it's hard, you know. I'm lucky because I'm quite young, you know. I don't really have commitments, you know, but when you've got houses to pay for, bills to pay for,
yeah, absolutely,
that need feeding, you know, it's hard. Luckily, I don't have any of that needs paying for, so I could just fully dedicate myself to the sport.
Absolutely, best way. Good on you. You mentioned earlier about, like, you know, the big fights and that, and I see you like a bit of head to head with like Nathan Heaney and a few like middleweight rivals, don't you? You're not shy of putting yourself for. What's the deal with him? What's going on there? What's the crack?
Yeah, you know, I just think
got to stand out, haven't you?
You know, when I turned pro, like I said, you know, I used to go to the arena watching Ricky and watching Crawler, and, you know, the way I brought up, I love them fights, you know, with the atmospheres, and, you know, it's a good clash of styles and a bit of a war, and, you know, the crowd are carrying him, and I just think out of all the other lads in the division, he's the fight where I'm most likely going to get that. Obviously, he brings a big following. I think you know, he's entertaining the way he fights, and I just think it'd be really good clash of styles and a great fight for the fans. So I've said on multiple occasions that I want that fight, but it's not looking like it's going to happen, is it?
Has there been any discussions or any offers or anything like that, or is it just not like?
No, mate. Well, the thing was, obviously, I was just a small all fighter. So the only way that was going to happen was if they made the call.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's going to come to Victoria Warehouse to box me for $3,000, is he? But yeah, nothing's come of it. But maybe now, you know, I'm on a bit of a bigger platform, and we're both heading towards titles, that something can be ordered or something can be made. But yeah, I don't think they'll they'll be picking up the phone anytime soon.
Absolutely. Is that your hope to like get in the titles, like English title, like British, like that level? Or is that what you're edging towards now? Do you think after maybe a couple more fights?
Yeah, definitely. I've, obviously, like you said, I've been very inactive. I've only boxed a round in the past 2 years, whatever it is. So I need to get some
like that.
Yeah, I need to get some rounds under my belt. I've got 2 scheduled 8-rounders before the end of the year, and then I think next year get a 10-round under my belt, and then looking at titles. But I think I like the idea of that old school route. Going the English, the British, the Commonwealth. I want to go that route. I don't want to kind of I'd box for the area title if there was a fight there. I don't want to kind of jump over any of them. I just like the idea. It's kind of the way I've been brought up, and
traditional.
Yeah, and it's there's so many good fights. There's so many good fights to be made there. Like the middleweight division booming domestically. So hopefully a few of the other lads are going to step up, and we can get some good fights made.
No, there is some good names there, isn't there? When you look down the list, there's some cracking names in that division, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even
I think maybe a lot of them kind of like see me as a step behind them at the moment, and I probably wouldn't blame him. I've just had that one fight, but I'm not really proving myself. But hopefully over the next few fights, I can do that, and then I can throw myself in the mix. Any
word about opponents for Newcastle yet, or too early for that?
We've had a few names. I think we should have something confirmed over the next few days. I've just been told we've had a few decent names turn it down. Looking like I might have to get a foreigner, which is obviously not what I want with what I was saying. Obviously wanting to get in a good position to fight for that English title, but I think we might have a lad there now.
Nice one.
But I just want to keep going at that good level. I want these undefeated lads, or just a couple of losses. Lads who are really coming to win, and I think that's where I'm going to kind of show what I can do.
Do you think they'll keep you active as well, Boxer, Sky Sports? Do you think they'll always, is that your plan? Keep going?
That's the plan, definitely, especially with being so inactive recently. They've told me this one in October, and then December time, and then March time. So, I want to be out as often as I can. I want to be busy.
Good man. So what's your plan tonight then? You see you going for a run, then you're going to chill out and watch a match?
Yeah, I'm going to get out, get just a little run tonight. Like I said, I'm aching, I'm feeling it. It's only Wednesday as well. Only halfway through the week. But yeah, a little run, and then feet up, watch the match. Bit of chicken, rice and broccoli like every other night. Life's good.
Mix it up a bit.
Hopefully City can get the win to cheer me up a little bit.
Oh, mate, they never stop winning them, do they? They'll beat Leipzig, won't they? It'd be too good for them.
Let's hope so. It's PSG I'm worried about.
Oh, mate, I know. It's ridiculous, that, isn't it? Sick, that. Good times to be a City fan, though. They're on the up, aren't they? It's been an amazing few years, that. Like, you might not
definitely.
It, but
definitely. It's good. I was a bit like this about this season. With us not signing a striker. I think we might struggle a little bit in Europe, but then fingers crossed. I reckon we've been nailed on to get Haaland next year now, so that everything's up from there. Unbeatable then.
Yeah, you want to try and be a Newcastle fan, man? Jesus, absolutely dreadful. Got Leeds at home on Friday night. Oh, the batter us on the telly. Not good. No, but anyway, batter boxing. Obviously, like I said, it's a month out. Obviously, we'll try and speak to you before then or on the night as well. But if anyone hasn't seen you before, what can people expect who are tuning in or at the arena on that Saturday, 16th of October?
Yeah, just expect. I think I'm quite deceiving me. I think at first looks I don't look like I'm up to much, and I think I've kind of got that element of surprise. Kind of with me now boxing on the new platform and to a wider audience. Be fighting in front of people who've never seen me before, and I think after the fight they'll be thinking, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that." I really bring something to the table that people don't expect. So it'll be fireworks. It'll be an entertaining fight, and hopefully we can get a good, solid opponent who's coming to win, and we put on a good fight for the fans, and I'll get the win.
Absolutely, mate. Honestly, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for your time, mate. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, mate. Top man. Speak to you soon.
All right, best luck, mate. Bye bye. Bye for now.
Yeah, mate. Bye.
All right.